welcome to the Wisdom of the Zodiac. Today I will be speaking about the Aries full moon, and I will be taking this talk from the Wisdom of the Zodiac, Volume 1 by Saraydarian, and it will be focused on Chapter 8, titled Aries Contact. Now Aries is the first of the zodiacal full moon calendar, and as such it is a sign of beginnings and is very important for those who are practicing the Ageless Wisdom teachings and striving to perfect themselves month after month, year after year. So if you want to be in this cycle, this is a time that you can use to make a considerable and focused attention on what it is that you want to happen in your life. Now this discussion is based on a 7-day period. So we are assuming then the first 3 days are days of preparation, and I've spoken about that in a different summary that I gave. So you can take a look at that video for how to prepare your physical, emotional, and mental bodies. Now this is going to be about the day of the full moon, which is the day of contact, and this is taken from page 97. Let me read the basic first paragraph. The most important thing at the time of the full moon is contact. The exact day of the full moon is the day of contact. Okay, so you are moving up now to the day of the full moon. You can find out when the exact time the full moon is in your neck of the woods. Look online and look in calendars. For example, our website has the times of contact, and you can determine what it is in your city or country and determine to sit at that time of the full moon if you can, or between 6 to 10 hours before or after. Make a time where you can sit quietly and make contact. Contact is a 1 second of opening into a source of energy and being charged by it. So if you want to make changes in your life, you can't just hope that a lightning bolt will come and change you. You have to make a deliberate effort. Maybe that source is your soul. Maybe that source is your teacher. Or it can be the teaching. It can be a book. It could be a friend. It could be something very small and simple that somebody says to you that awakens you. Maybe that source is the centers of the planet, higher centers, whichever it is. According to your energy and striving, you should have a contact. So those are the two words, your energy and your striving. So you can see immediately that this is not a placid, laid back, oh, something will happen kind of approach, but it is a very deliberate and focused approach. And all of that is going to depend on the way that you have striven thus far. How do you strive? To me, if I'm going to make a contact, or if I want an answer to a question, and that's how I view contact, or an aha moment, a realization about something that I'm wondering about, or thinking about, or questioning about, then I have to be prepared by the kinds of questions that I ask, by the way I silence myself and listen. Because I have found out that in my life there are answers to my inquiries and questions, or solutions to problems everywhere, if I dare look and if I'm conscious and awake to realize what is being said to me. Or sometimes I will be watching television and be watching a preacher give a sermon, and in that sermon 1 or 2 sentences will make a huge difference for me, and I'll think, wow, that's my answer to the question that I was asking. So you are approaching this whole period with not just, oh, I'm here and I'll just meditate and something will happen, but to position yourself. I think if you position yourself with questioning, preparation, and focus approach, you are going to have an answer to your questions. If you have a contact, then you will see that your consciousness is changing and your attitude toward life is changing. That's what you want to see, is that not just the inner realization of, oh, I feel good, I feel uplifted, I feel joyful, but something that is going to last beyond that, that is going to materialize and actualize in your life, so that you should be able to see the results in your physical life and environment, in your relationships, in the way you feel, as well as in the way you're thinking, the way you approach your purpose and direction in life. So you should see a definite material change. You will see that you are receiving more energy to face the difficulties and hindrances of life. Isn't that what we want? We all have difficulties, we all have hindrances, we all have walls that we put around us and imprison ourselves. And what we need is the energy, the insight to face these difficulties and solve them with nobility and beauty and goodness to everything that's concerned in that difficulty. So it's very important to make a contact. And that kind of contact clears first our whole mental mechanism. Our whole mental mechanism, our emotions, these things are cleared. Why is that? Well, we have what is called in Ageless Wisdom teachings, illusions and glamours. Illusions are mental habits of thought, mental expectations that are based mostly on our culture, our social upbringing, our family, the way our friends talk and expect, the culture of the social media, for example, what is fashionable and not fashionable. So we pretend, and these things become pretensions, expectations in our emotional and mental bodies. So illusions allude to mental habits, mental expectations, mental deceptions that are not really fitting with reality, and we think it's real. So we are living under a deception. Now the other one, glamours, are huge. They cloud our sight, they cloud our mind, they cloud our feelings, and they are emotional habits, emotional expectations that are based on what somebody else is teaching us, not what we really want. So at this time you're going to think, what are some of my illusions and glamours that I operate under? Why do we want to get rid of them? Because they are going to thicken the wall between you and your true essence, your true self, your true vocation and purpose in life. That wall is going to be thickened and thickened and thickened by layers of deceptions. And the more you can clear that, the more you can contact the essence of who you are. The more when you read a book, it will make sense. The more when you hear a teacher, it'll make you really want to take that challenge on and change yourself and change your habits. Contact is not just made at the full moon time. This is very interesting. Even though the full moon time is the most opportune time, you can make contacts at any time if you fine-tune yourself to the wisdom that we find in nature. And that's, to me, what this whole series of 4 books is about, is to fine-tune our physical, emotional, mental nature to such a point that they're quiet and serene, and our higher mind, our higher self, our soul in us is reaching and searching and scanning the wisdom of the earth and life all around us to give us the answers that we need. So only contact changes people. Isn't that interesting? Only contact changes people. I remember any time I have made major changes in my life, it is because I made a contact. It could have been a book that I read, a teacher that I heard, a lecture that I heard perhaps for the first time, even though I may have heard it several times. It could be anything. For example, when I'm reading a book and editing it, indexing it, proofing it, I read a book many, many times, at least 3 to 5 times. And then when it's published and printed and it's delivered, I will open it and read it again and think, wow, I never read that before. So you see, that is a point of contact when something makes sense to you for the first time, and it could be that exact answer you are looking for. So you're looking for contact with a poised and ready attitude. Now, what happens after we make contact? What happens is registration. We register what it is that we received. Now, registration, you have to be awake. We can ask a million questions of the world, of life, of God, teachers, friends. What good is it if we're not poised and ready to listen without prejudice? You see, the illusions and glamours and Maya, these are the deceptions of our bodies, are usually things that filter the truth. And we will see everything only from our perspective, our own background, our own proclivities, our own deceptions, our own patterns or culture. Somebody can say something completely different and we won't hear it because we only register at the amount of clarity that we have. Okay, so remember that. the more clarity you have, the less deceptions you have, the more that contact is going to make sense to you, the way it should be. And according to that, then with the proper registration, your field of consciousness is so magnetic and pure that it picks up the signals. I believe that there are signals in life, and I'm not talking about out-of-body experiences. I'm talking about every single day there is wisdom in the life around you, in your children, in the books that you read, in the news that you hear, in the friends that you speak with, in just your thoughts and ponderings and meditations. These insights can come to you. So you're looking for that contact and then registration. Registration, this is page 99, is the moment of tension. Okay, there's that word again, tension. So it's not just accident. You see, I don't believe accidents is going to give you enlightenment or are going to give you enlightenment. It is that tension, that spiritual tension that you hold, that questioning mind. That doesn't mean that you go through life with clenched teeth and tense attitude, but it's a spiritual inner tension of listening. So you can go about your life doing everything that you need to do, take care of your home, your business, your associates, your family, but at the meantime, have that focus and one-pointed tension, spiritual tension, to get answers to the things that you're thinking about. Interestingly, we are told that at some point in our life of discipleship, we will be every minute in meditation. Now that doesn't mean that you are closing your eyes and saying Om all day for 24 hours. That would be unreasonable, wouldn't it? But it means that you are 24/7 in inner awakened state. Okay, so it is a moment of tension, one-pointedness. Okay, that's again focus, purity, and total silence of emotions and thoughts. Now purity is very important here. Purity means your filters are clean. You don't have any preconceived notions. You're thinking outside of the box. And we know that all beautiful, creative expressions in any field of life, whether it is art, politics, business, financial decisions that you're going to make, all require purity. Purity from preconceived ideas, so that you can think out of the box, you can think of possibilities. It's so interesting when you register that there are infinite possibilities to everything that you are confronting, something opens, a new window opens. In registration, agitation of the consciousness is gone. Agitation comes from our preconceived ideas, cultural habits, our ways of thinking and feeling that have made deep grooves and patterns inside of us. And these create agitation in us. Why? Because they rub against reality. When they rub against reality, we don't know which way to go. Oftentimes people feel guilty to let go of the old and the past. Whereas when we think of Aries, Aries is about resurrection. And if you're going to resurrect yourself, what are you going to resurrect? The true essence. And how are you going to do that? By leaving everything that is worn out behind you. You are not going to lose yourself by leaving the worn out. We feel sometimes agitated that if we are asked to leave the old behind, some of us will go. What is that part of us that is going to go but deceptions and illusions and glamours? So think about that when you are going toward resurrection, toward a one-pointed devotion to your ideal. You're going to have to let go some of the old ways of thinking. How will you know? When you register something, you must consciously know what it is. Be conscious, be aware. This is an answer to this question. This is a way for me to proceed. You will know what it is by the change of your behavior, thinking, and emotions. So there it is again. If there's no change, you are hallucinating. You see, so many people think, oh, I have great ideas, great visions, unity, togetherness and oneness of life, but then their life shows exactly the opposite. See, they're not stewards of everything that they should be stewards of. So you should see a change of your behavior, the way you behave in your life, the way you think, the way you feel, and that's the acid test. That's the outer test of what is happening inside of you. The next day after that, that's the third day after the full moon, is a day called assimilation. This is really important. You become one with the message. If your contact is saying, now here's the way to approach this problem, you've thought about it, you've planned it, you have registered it, now it comes, okay, how am I going to do this? And you start thinking and deepening that inner contact that you made. Assimilation is being one with your vision. One with your vision means to raise your frequency to the frequency you are receiving and harmonize yourself and create a chord so that you are flying with that bird in the same flight. You see, this is important. What it brings up is, don't fight with the truth. You might not like it. It might not be what you think you were waiting for, but the truth is the truth. So if you get a contact about something and you say, okay, I'm registering this, I hear you, that's an answer. The next thing is to say, I'm going to be one with that because that is truth, and see what happens. Let the scales fall off of me. Let the deceptions fall off of me so that I can be a whole person. This is so beautiful at the bottom of this page 99. The human psychology is so complicated. Now listen to this. People are afraid to recognize or acknowledge things that they receive because it will cost them something. People are afraid to make sacrifices. People are afraid to be humiliated. They are afraid to dare. This is powerful. This is something that we really all need to think about at this time. You see, again, I've said this before and the teaching has said this, transformation is not for the weak-minded, weak emotions. It is really for the daring, for people who want to dare to change and make a difference in life. So look at the qualities that he's talking about. People are afraid to recognize or acknowledge things that they receive because it will cost them something. What is it going to cost you? It may cost you money, it may cost you time, it may cost you the feeling of letting go all that stuff, putting in a garbage pail and throwing it out. At the end of the day, it's not going to cost you anything, but give you freedom. It will give you freedom to let go and resurrect yourself. People are afraid to make sacrifice. It's interesting, we're afraid to let go. We hold on to things that we believe in to the end. Even if it takes us down, we believe it, and we will not give them up. They're afraid to be humiliated. Humiliated how? In front of our mistakes, in front of our family. Oh, I made a mistake, I made a wrong decision. So what? Be daring. Let it go. Say, I made a mistake. I made a wrong decision. I made a wrong turn. It's time now for me to move on to a new phase, a new page in my life. Now the last day of the full moon period, which is the day of the full moon, and then 2-3 days later, it is a day of radiation. If you felt a sense of beauty, a sense of goodness, a sense of joy, it's time to share that. Share that out to the world and radiate it. The radiation is the ability to stand apart from your not self. So you can see what you're doing. You are contacting the true you. You are registering it. You are assimilating it. You are bringing it into yourself. And now you are going to stand with that true self that you have become. You see how important it is? Let's say you can do that for, 1 minute, or 1 day, or 1 week. Let's say you're able to do this for 7 days this year, and it doesn't come back to you again for another several months. It doesn't matter. It is cumulative. Every good thing that you do accumulates and accumulates in your chalice, in your higher temple of glory, it is called. And as you accumulate, slowly, your bodies will be able to sustain the changes and hold on to the changes. It is just like making a good decision and not slipping down so often. You're able to say at one point, I don't revisit those old things anymore, I'm done with them. Wouldn't that be a beautiful moment for you in your life? Page 100. Aries symbolizes sacrifice of Christ. So at the time of resurrection, which is the Aries full moon, is the time of sacrifice or making sacred. That's what sacrifice means, and I'd like you to think about that. How are you going to make a sacrifice? There are 5 ways. I will touch on them briefly, and you may take these 5 ideas and meditate on them. First one is intuitive direction. This is so important. We usually make our decisions by our physical needs, our emotional desires, and mental thought forms. We don't rely on our intuition. Intuition is something that gives you clean and pure and instant communication as to where you should go with your life. We know sometimes, and we don't listen to it. How many things we have lost in our life because we didn't listen to that intuitive insight that told us exactly where we should go. Well, it's never too late. It's never too late to go back into your intuition and ask that question. Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? The second one is pure love. Caring for someone without expectation. Caring for a principle without looking for rewards. Doing something without reward. That is pure, pure love. That is eternal, essential, and immortal. If you can do that, and that alone, you would have completely changed your life. Third one is group consciousness. To think more about others and not just have your whole life be centered about you and what you want. This is very, very important to recognize. And we really cannot have a good marriage, good business relationships, good professional relationships without being conscious of the needs of other people. If we are only in it for ourselves, we will end up lonely and sad and cynical old people, and we don't want that. Number 4, sacrificial service. Sacrificial service is a service done without expectation, without expecting to be praised, flattered, recognized, repaid, whatever. I am always marveling at the beautiful millions of men and women in this world who sacrifice their time, their talent, their money for something greater than themselves. That is so beautiful, and I know the reward that they get is the joy. I know that's how I feel. When I sacrifice myself and put my ego aside, I feel great joy, and that's a reward enough for me. And 5th, which is very, very important, one of the keystones of the Ageless Wisdom teaching is number 5, striving toward perfection. Torkim once said in a lecture that I absolutely love, called The Most Essential in the Teaching. And if you want to hear one lecture of Torkim's that will change your life, listen to that video. You can order it from us on audio or video. It is beautiful. It is called The Most Essential in Life. And he says in there that yes, you can read, yes, you can meditate, yes, you can engage with great people and great ideas. You can read about rays and planets and zodiacs, but the most important is striving toward perfection every single day. And when you do that, everything that you will need in your life, in your business, in your personal needs will be given to you. That is really, really beautiful and powerful. So every day, whatever you are doing, wherever you are, you must strive toward perfection. Resurrection is the sum total of all the efforts you have made for perfection. Let me read that again. That's on the bottom of page 100. Resurrection is the sum total of all the efforts you made for perfection. So you are going to strive every day to perfect yourself. Find out what it is that you need to do to change your life and start from the beginning. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, your family life, your personal life, your health, your business life. Maybe you start thinking about the next life. What do I might want my next life to be? So these are things that you can strive for every single day, and when you do, the questions you ask will be answered, the needs that you have will be met. So that is the basic theme of the Aries full moon, that you are going to strive toward resurrection, to let go of the old, let the beautiful flowers and leaves of the new life open up in you and in your your life and show in everything that you are doing. We are now going to do a brief meditation, and I will guide us. We will start with the great invocation, and you could say it with me. And then we will do a meditation, and then we will end with a beautiful mantra that I will say and have you repeat after me. So sit up straight and put a nice smile on your face and relax. Don't have any tension in your cheeks, in your shoulders, in your neck, your forehead. Just relax yourself and have a smile. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And in your imagination, link up with your soul. And imagine hundreds and thousands of people all over the world doing the same meditation with you. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Now meditate on the seed thought. What do I want new in my life? First, think about what is the old that you need to let go, and then what is the new that you want to come in this month, next month, and the month after, so that your entire year reflects a change of consciousness. Let's take a few minutes, and as always, if you want to pause the video, you can at this point and take as long as you need to meditate on this. What do I want new in my life? First, meditate on what you want to let go and release. Repeat after me. More radiant than the sun, purer than the snow, subtler than the ethers, is the self, the spirit within my heart. I am that self. That self am I. Beautiful. So as final words, let me summarize that at Aries, you are going to look for the path of resurrection. You want to be able to say, I am one with that joy. I am one with that eternal love. I am one with my true self. And when you unite yourself with your true, genuine self, your whole life is going to be completely different. So I wish you a most beautiful Aries and resurrection. And if you would like to study this subject a little more deeply, you may subscribe to our Wisdom of the Zodiac monthly classes. And these are classes that we hold here at TSG. And they're based on this wonderful series of books, The Wisdom of the Zodiac. You can get the books, read with them every month, and listen to the panel of discussion that we have, and enjoy the meditation. So I wish you a beautiful month and a beautiful year ahead. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.